This week on Nintendo No, we're going medieval. Fire Emblem is a series that was on the brink of being lost forever to the void that seems to have taken other Nintendo franchises like F-Zero and Custom Robo. Despite this, fortunately, the 3DS's Fire Emblem Awakening brought new life to the series, and now with the soon-to-be-released Fates on the 3DS, and then the Atlas crossover with Shin Megami Tensei on the way, Fire Emblem looks stronger than ever. Today I'll be talking about the game most commonly known as Fire Emblem 64, though it is also known by the name Fire Emblem Ankoku no Miko, or Maiden of Darkness. This game was first announced in 1997 by not Intelligent Systems or even anyone working for them, as you would presume due to it being their series, but rather by Miyamoto, because even when he's not top dog at Nintendo, he's still kind of top dog at Nintendo. He'd give this information in an interview with the Japanese press, in which he'd say, and I quote, "Actually it'll probably come out after Mario RPG 2, the latter half of next year." And by Mario RPG 2, of course, he means the title which we now know to be Paper Mario. This of course was the other game being developed by Intelligent Systems at the time, with him also saying that a playable demo for the Mario RPG was in development due to coincide with the launch of the title, before conceding that he may have already said too much. Obviously this is nothing out of the ordinary for Miyamoto, as he did the very same thing with Pikmin 4 just last year. Despite the release date being sometime in 1998, it would take until the latter half of that year to even get a formal announcement of the game. This was in the magazine 64 Dream, amongst other similar Japanese magazines. No screenshots were shown of the game at this time, despite its development reportedly going steadily, with no major issues. It is now known that the game did have several issues during development, which led to virtually all of the game having to be restarted from scratch at about halfway point. This even included changing its appeal to a younger demographic as well as a hardcore one. This was in development not just for the N64 though, but rather the ill-fated N64 disk drive, which also only served to worsen the prospects of this game's release. There was nothing but silence on the title up until the turn of the millennium, when it would be announced in 64 Dream that the title that they had announced just 2 years prior, Fire Emblem 64, was no longer in development, and it was cancelled due to issues with the hardware spec, as seemingly they didn't believe that the regular N64 could give the experience which they envisioned for the game. One cool thing from the game's development is that the character we now know as Ike was originally named Paris, and rather it would be the character who would eventually be called Roy, who originally took up the name of Ike. It is heavily hypothesized that this game turned into the GBA game Fire Emblem Binding Blade, due to mostly it being the next game in the series to be developed after the cancellation of this one. And to me it seems highly likely the case due to several key elements, though obviously the two would have been very different in many ways due to one being for the N64 and one for the GBA. Anyway, that'll bring it to the end of this Nintendo No guys. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like on this video, comment and tell me, are you excited for Fire Emblem Fates, or maybe the Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover game? Also, if you're new, feel free to sub, and hey, I have a Patreon page as well, so if you want to go support me, you can check that down with the link in the description below. See you later guys.